All right, so what is your take on the whole drop my flag challenge that my bro Hocus 45th started?
I mean, like, look, that shit, like, in the context of what it is, I respect it. Like hella much. That shit is dope. You feel me? Like, especially, look, even out here, there's a bunch of kids that are banging, that are going to war, killing each other over shit they don't even know what it means. They don't even know the origins, and it's really fucking sad, right? Any type of violence with kids or anyone is all bad. If the drop my flag shit is pushing towards an agenda of minimizing that and getting people towards being in accordance of that, that's a no-brainer. Who wouldn't be on the side of that, right?
Yeah, so Adam's response to the situation it was viewed as Adam was making a mockery of it, right? When he said that he was responding to something else, that a friend of his that was gay or something like that, that got the attention of Styles P, and a lot of people were upset about what Adam said and did and everything. How did you feel about that?
I think that, I mean, like, first of all, like, motherfuckers love Styles P and shit. Love the, like, my man, this is like the watch. Like, even Adam, and like, Adam grew up on New York hip hop. Don't get it twisted. Like, there's a reason why so many of these fools, from the Ghost Faces on down, even fucking Necro, have all been interviewed on No Jumper, because Adam came from that club. Like, we sat down with Jimmy and Joel's. If you like, that Dipset interview was a huge, moment for not just me, but for Adam 1000%, because, again, including me in that, for real, because, like, he reveres, so, like, obviously we don't want Styles P being mad at us or being mad at, something Adam said. I think what Adam said was taken super out of context. I can see why people were mad. I don't think what his intention was to mock that or to, like, make fun of that in any capacity. I think in his eyes, he was just kind of, I don't think he realized how the serious it was and how localized it was. That kind of just goes to show that a lot of us are just locked into our algorithms, and he thought that whatever is popping in the Gang Herald in New York and the East Coast was just something that was just viral overall. And I don't know if he was fully discerned just like how that was going to come across. So I know he wasn't trying to be insensitive, at the same time, like, it's admittedly him, myself, everybody, most of my homies got really dark sense of humor, but just something like that is not something to play with. I know he wouldn't want to play with other fools, any gang members not wanting to continue affiliating themselves with, violence and anything of that nature. So I definitely don't condone it. I feel where they were coming from 1000%. I just don't think that people really, if they knew Adam's heart and just like him as a person, I don't think that they would be as incensed as they were necessarily. That's not to say that Adam wasn't in the wrong for making whatever video he made. I just don't think he understood. I know he didn't understand the ramifications that people could have taken from it.
So with that being said, though, right, like, if he didn't understand at the time of doing that, after the fact, wouldn't it be more in his best interest if he truly cared to come out and say, like, like, yo, my bad, like, it wasn't, I could see how that was taken the wrong way like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
I think, I thought he kind of did, like, from my understanding, like, on the show, like, he definitely did it. Like, he basically said what I just said. He clarified that was not his intention to be disrespectful to, the big homie had started or anything like that. It wasn't, but at the same time, I think we're living in an age where people walking back their statements and not being themselves, like, it's perceived as a sign of weakness. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people look at, like, me personally, if I'm wrong about something, again, it comes down to confidence. Like, people can say what they want about me, but I know who the fuck I am, and I'm very, very confident with the person I am. Like, so you want to say to a fault, you know, like, and that's on
I
way.
think that he might have did it on the show, like you said, but initially when he put out the video say calling Hocus a clout chaser or like responding to him in that way, it didn't seem like he was very apologetic towards the way that things came across. And I think that's why the first impression people were like, oh, he really is making a mockery of the situation versus, you know.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not fully across the timeline to give like the proper analysis. Trust me, like I would love to just look. All I'll say is this: I know the homie's fucking hard and sexy humor, and I don't think he meant it trying to disrespect me whatsoever. At the same time, I don't think he wanted like to get hoed out. He's not going to get hoed out by somebody on some internet shit. I think that's your talk. This is not his words. This is just the Lush One via PANDA Chop assessment.
Right. No, I got you. And I think that because people were viewing it like with him saying, you know, we don't do that in LA, people are like, well, you're not even from LA and you're not even a gang member. So why are you speaking on it in this kind of facet? You know what I'm saying? And being like, I'm like GB, BD, Vice Lord, and I'm tired of beefing with my ops. And so that's why people perceived it in that way.
Look, okay, so, and this is, I'm somebody that grew up tagging. And if you grew up tagging in LA, you know, and you're from that tag banger culture, it's essentially very similar to the gangs, and people definitely kill and die over that shit, unfortunately, too. It doesn't quite have the same gravity, admittedly, but it's right there. There is like a whole other element to it. But I definitely grew up with a lot of homies, and I'm still around a lot of homies that are deeply entrenched. Like I said, lost one of the homies the other day. This happens to the point where it's almost, we're very desensitized out here, and there are certain cultural norms that don't even exist, like the concept of dropping a flag. That's not like that's not a West Coast, that's not an LA gangbanging thing, you know what I mean? So I don't think that people really understood what that really meant. Like, cause I know, even though a lot of folks that are from the sections that are members, and like they never use that terminology, they might, you feel me, get put off, you know what I mean? Like they might not be active no more. They might, you feel me, get DP'd, you feel me, they might get, you feel me, a number of different things. But as far as, you know, they might even hood hop, you feel me, not even join another set, you feel me. But as far as, like most of those things I say are pretty frowned upon, by the way, you know. But as far as LA is concerned, lingo. But as far as dropping a flag, that's not, obviously I can discern what that means, and I'm tapped in with New York and all that to know what the fuck that means. But you know, that's not like LA gangbanging lingo. So I think that another part of the disconnect right there. I don't think Adam really understood the really. Again, I'm not trying to be his fucking Johnny Cochran or fucking Kevin Costner. I to save a hoe in this bitch. You feel me? Like, fuck, I really like, but you know, that's legitimately what it is.
Yeah. All right, Lush, man. I just want to thank you so much for your time. We definitely got to do a part 2 because there's so much that, you know, we could have covered as well, man. But is there anything else you want to say to the people before we go ahead and wrap it up?
Man, shouts to PANDA. I appreciate the opportunity. Like my man said earlier, shouts to C-Dub for your copyright. You know me for lacing the interview. Make sure to stay tuned. God Save MacArthur Park. Feel me? God Save MacArthur Park.